Okie doke. Recording has started. Welcome to Biloxi. We're going on a nice little ride here in a sec. Let's go ahead and get this thing cranked up.
You have good gas?
Oh yeah. So Noah is with us for the ride tonight. I might actually have to leave this open because it's kind of humid tonight, a little bit foggy. We're going to take you on a tour of the town though, all the viewers. This is my kind of weather. That is Beau Rivage. That's I believe that's the tallest building in the state of Mississippi right there. It did break a record. It was the largest casino and the largest construction project in our state for quite a long time, and what it's towering over is MGM Park, our baseball stadium for our farm team for the Atlanta Braves. All right, and right here is our I-110 overpass. Nice farmers market happens there. We're going down the main drag, which is known as Howard Avenue. There's lots of history on this street. You see a lot of outdoor breweries starting to pop up around here, and a lot of new businesses. Oh, it's okay. Oh yeah. All right. About 10 years ago is when I moved here from California. None of this had redeveloped from Katrina. We are about 2 blocks from the Gulf of Mexico. I guess it's about to be called the Gulf of America before too long, but we're 2 blocks away from the Gulf. And we had Katrina damage well up to these railroad tracks right here on my right hand side. And this is a very old famous hangout right here, Giuseppe's. Alright, so one of the best jobs I had, I don't work there anymore, but it's right here. This is Biloxi Fire and Police. I worked for the fire department for about 4.5 years. And I learned every little nook and cranny of this town, and I got to live right in the heart of the city, which was even better. I wanted to see how my camera does at nighttime, but in Gulfport and the other parts of the city where I live, it's not as bright at night. Our main landmark, the Biloxi Lighthouse. A lot of people mispronounce Biloxi. They call it Biloxi. Biloxi. That makes us crazy. On our neighboring city, New Orleans, a lot of people say Nowlands, and that's just something that they told you to say on the airplane. I don't know anybody from New Orleans that calls it Nowlands. New Orleans. And Biloxi with like a U. Fred Hayes statue. Alright, we're making our way up to Casino Row. I'm going to drop the lens down here. The wind's picking up a little bit. Our fog's coming in. The V-Strom handles all this really well. We're getting 48 miles to the gallon with the passenger. Now we're coming around. We're on Highway 90 in front of the Gulf, and we're coming around to the front of MGM Park, the baseball stadium, and right in front of Beau Rivage. Let's not chance this. There we go. The casino patrons have priority on these lights around here. Anybody want to guess why? A long time ago, before there were casinos, all of this used to be fishing industry. So it would be like shelling houses and canning factories. Most of this part of Biloxi right here rests on top of oyster shells. There's a whole layer of them. That is a beautiful building. But this would be Biloxi proper, but it was all old shelling factories and old canning places. Lots of oysters, Gulf oysters. Got our Hard Rock Cafe down there. We're gonna ride through a spot up here. It's probably not picking up very well on the camera right now, but it's our town green over this way. There's some old buildings there. There's some wood peg buildings that have actually survived 200-mile-an-hour hurricane winds. A big part of what allows them to do that is the pine. The original pine that they had before they started growing slash pine was incredibly strong. So much so that, like, when you try to drill through it now, you can't. An electric 18-volt drill can barely put a screw into it. Kind of lug. I love this V-Strom because I can go ride it so much. I can be in such a taller gear and just lug it right on up. Now there's a very, very fancy Waffle House, and you can only see the yellow, but it's surrounded by the most beautiful, majestic oak trees that you've ever seen in your life. And this is a isolated stretch of beach, and if you were to look to the right in the daytime, you would see Deer Island. Just want to clean the camera, but you would see an island called Deer Island, and they've actually dredged up sand to increase the size of that island, but there's a little tiny waterway that goes between the regular beach and that island right there. I actually did a kayak rescue of some guys there one night. They had a dog with them. And we're gonna go right here to the Ore Museum. I'm gonna show you all a very weird structure. We're gonna go through the back of it. It's kind of haunting looking. If there was ever a city you'd want to go on a ghost tour, this would definitely be it. George Orr, the Mad Potter. When you come to a place like this, you always want to say, like, where's the best food or whatnot, which casino or which restaurant. The best po' boy you can get is right there in that gas station, right there. It is loaded with shrimp. I mean, it's like they act like you've got like it's the last po' boy. They make it like it's the last po' boy you're ever gonna have in your life, right there in that gas station. And what we're gonna do is go through this strip. It's very, very, very quiet on this part. This is all Katrina damage. It's all empty lots. Used to be homes all through here. We're gonna kind of cruise through here. I want you to see the back side of the War Museum because it's a very interesting structure. From the front, you wouldn't really think it's very much to it, and especially at night, but when you get up close to it, it's a really unique building. I don't know how much money they spent building it, but they do a classic motorcycle show here every so often. I'm gonna cut into the lot right here. Noah's remembering. Sneak right on up to it. Boom. Oh, big giant metallic structure. We're gonna head into our downtown area right after this. Just one of those nights, man. I just wanted to get Noah out the house for a little while, go grab some dinner. There is a whole neighborhood on the north side of what's called Howard Avenue right here, and it has for years been generations and generations of fishermen, longshoremen, industry workers, and all those homes in there just generationally passed down. And then after Katrina, you would see a lot of stilt builds like that. Stilt built houses got put up to get around the insurance aspect of it. Ooh, we're lugging. To get around the insurance aspect of it. But you can go in there and you can find some gorgeous architecture. Most of it from the early 1900s. Most of it was built in the 1920s. This whole street actually used to have like a trolley car that would take people down. It was a main drag at one time. And we are getting closer to the downtown area. And I used to live right in here. I loved it. I used to live right here and work for the fire department. That was a very cool time in my life. That's actually when I met my wife. Live right down the street. This house is made out of oyster shells. Crushed oyster shell. It's great. It looks like a gigantic castle. Okay, now this is, we're getting to where it's one of the more impressive parts of Biloxi. There's some of the old architecture. Everybody waves, I love that. I don't know if you could see it on the camera or not, but everybody likes to sit out on these big old porches, and the ceilings are painted blue to confuse the dirt daubers. And they sit out there with the big porches and just relax. It's like always a cool breeze down here by the beach. One of my old haunts, the fill-in station. A converted gas station has a great all-you-can-eat crawfish special that's about to pop off here in about a month. Alright. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Alright. Now this was called the Veau Marché. And it used to be like a fancy shopping place in the 40s, well, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. This was the spot. When you look at archival photos, this building right here is in all of them.
I like the brick road.
Oh, yeah. They have the brick road all through this part. Morgan Freeman owns a bar just up here a little bit. Right here, Elvis Presley, there was, where this empty section is, Elvis Presley, there was a hardware store right here. Now it's just a bush planted. But they gave Elvis Presley a rifle for doing his first performance, one of his first earlier performances when, you know, people would barter for entertainment with him. And he got paid, or gifted a rifle, I guess, on top of his performance fee. And it came from that store. Actually, it was right there. I apologize. It was that hardware store right there. I'm sorry. Told you the wrong spot. But right next to the Blues Club. And that's where Morgan Freeman's spot is. And I'll actually show you another cool little tidbit of history while we're at it. I'll show you his girlfriend's house. Elvis's girlfriend's house. When Elvis Presley would perform, he needed a place to stay, and he would stay in Ocean Springs, but not all the time. Sometimes he would stay at his girlfriend June Juanico's. Alright. And she lived right up here around the corner. And I will show you right here. So Elvis, to get downtown, could stay at June's house, which was right where this car is parked. Elvis Presley stayed nights in this house right here on that porch. And if you look in old photos, you can look at little details of that house. We'll have a blinker on there. And you can see some of the old architecture. The awning on the neighbor's house is still in some of the photos. But Elvis Presley has gone down this street and spent many a nights on this street. I would say he probably spent most of a summer spent time on this street right here. Old beautiful homes right here. Be a little bit careful pulling out. We're gonna cut back around to go into the parking lot for Fly Llama. Another amazing place to get some seafood and a po' boy. Quality seafood right there. They've got good stuff too. I'm going to do a daytime ride on the DR through Biloxi because it is a city that is absolutely built for a dual sport. A lot of empty lots, a lot of little places you can cut through. A lot of places like dirt, hills, shortcuts, empty lots with slabs. It's pretty awesome to look at. You can really explore on a dual sport way more than an ADV. Now, we started at that little bar that we were at, which is it's not actually a bar, it's a brewery, a local brewery, and it's right down here. And this is just kind of, I wanted to see how the camera would do at night, give you an abbreviated tour through Biloxi, catch some of the sights and sounds, take you to some of the parts. If you were ever to come here, you probably wouldn't see these parts. Some of the, you know, the neighborhoods and the smaller places. May not see where Elvis stayed the night and whatnot, but figured I'd share it with you. And also get Noah out of the house a little bit and get him some fresh air too. Come hanging with me. Noah's always good company. And we are gonna cut right back in here. So thank you for joining me. If you made it this long, I will see you in the next video. Take care, stay blessed, see you soon.